Hello there, fellow NPCs, I'm Scythe, and today we're getting back into the house in Fata Morgana, Requiem for Innocence. And yeah, we are going through the sub-stories, I believe they were called, the short stories that happen outside of the main game and the second main game, the sequel, or prequel? Prequel, I guess it is. But yeah, we have gone through a slow killing poison, defectives, and now we're going to visit Jacopo and after the white-haired girl escaped and see what the painting's ramblings mean. Does that mean that Georges is going to wake up somehow? That's the only thing I can think of that is a painting that rambles on. But we'll see, we'll see. But either way, let's go. Three, the painting's ramblings. Why, hello there, Giselle. Doing your rounds again. Such a diligent young lady you are. You could get away with cleaning this place once every couple decades and no one would be the wiser. What, you're not Giselle? That's someone else? Oh, no, you're just the maid. Oh. When did this happen? Is this during Jacopo's time? It should be. And who am I, you ask? Well, this is quite the pickle. What on earth could have happened while I was dozing off? You think you're just a maid, and you think you're the witch at the same time. Is this Georges? Why are we not seeing anything with Jacopo? Is it because the main game was all about Jacopo, perhaps? You've just forgotten about everything, and I don't think anything I say is going to fix that. You do seem a bit mellower now and not so constantly miserable. Wasn't sure of what to say to you before, or if I should say anything at all. So I didn't say much, out of consideration for you. Not that you could really tell from looking at me, I guess. If forgetting takes some weight off you, then maybe it's for the best. Not that I think you should forget, and not that I want you to forget about Michelle. But I won't blame you for choosing not to spend God knows how much longer agonizing over it. Nothing wrong with abandoning ship, especially considering how long you spent on it. No, not 10,000 years, 1,000 years. And hey, it hurt me to see you in so much pain, so we both came out on top here, I guess. What a kind painting, you say? Well, thank you kindly. But the truth is, I'm not nearly as upstanding a guy as people think I am. And it was us Bollingers that turned your life upside down and caused you all that misery and suffering. Yeah, it's Georges. Yep, yeah. Yeah, I know. The first dumbfounded smile was testament enough. Everything I say is going to in one ear and out the other. Which means I'm free to say whatever I want. By the time tomorrow rolls around, you'll have forgotten all about the curious talking painting you chanced upon today. Oh, is that how her memory's working right now? So I'll start with this. It's a huge relief to see you smiling again. It's not the smile of someone right in the head, I can see that much. But it's a lot easier on the eyes and the heart than how you were before. Like I said, I'm a real winner. I'm not particularly concerned about putting up appearances here. Call me heartless if you will, you wouldn't be wrong. I'm not going to pretend I'm some saint, but at the same time, I'm not going to play like I'm a cackling villain either. If there's one thing I don't want people to see, though, it's me looking weak. I'm the laid-back guy without a care in the world. That's what I want people to see when they look at me. My big brother was your standard cookie cutter. You can count on me for anything kind of brother. I mean, that ended up not being the case, but he sure looked the part. And Michelle, he always looked up to Dee. Went to him for everything, gave him all his love. Dee was tall and well-built, muscular, everything about him screamed manly man. And I can admire that too, though not nearly as much as Michelle did. I became a painter in part because I didn't want to follow in my brother's footsteps. Not to say I don't like painting, I love it, but people weren't going to be inclined to compare us as often. I didn't have to be as fit as him, or as good at chess. I had my own thing to be good at, art. I couldn't beat him in his own game, so I beat him at mine. And my whole not a care in the world deal was probably, at least on some level, a shield against having to admit I couldn't compare. Okay, so yeah, these are George's ramblings. Why he is the way he is. Because both his brothers and their mother were kind of like poking at him. Can't you take anything seriously? And this is him explaining why that is. If we were just a few years further apart, maybe I could have just had the same admiration and respect for him as Michelle. But there's not much getting past the boyish competitiveness when you're so close in age. I know I've been rambling at you for a while already, but would you mind sticking around a little longer? Great, I got an old story I'd like to get off my chest. This is something I was planning to take to the grave, and something I don't think Giselle ever needs to know. But well, you say you're not Giselle anymore, and I'm already in the grave, so what the hell? I'm just gonna talk to myself for a bit here, and if you kind of forget anything you may overhear, that'd be lovely. Now begins the ramblings. Back before I became a painting, I was the head of the Bollinger family, though I spent most of my time painting. It really wasn't a job for me though, a guy who half-assed his way through life, so I left all the business stuff to my wife, Amy. Now she was a real capable girl. If she'd been born a guy, she would have made one heck of a diplomat. Possibly even got the king's eye. Before we were married, she had a bit of a fling with Dee, which she felt real bad about later. Probably didn't help that I had a tendency to bring it up from time to time. Not all the time, just occasionally. But that aside, she was a faithful, hard-working partner. It didn't take long for us to become known as the dope and disabled bride. To which Amy would always interject, Georges is a very capable man, thank you very much. Now, that probably makes it sound like I just shoved all the work of running the house onto her, but in truth, she wanted the job. She quite enjoyed it, and who was I to complain? It also meant I didn't have to deal with one of the family's more significant dilemmas. Namely, my mother, who went insane. Not to be crass, but Mom was not quite all there. She'd always been a bit of a nervous wreck, and it didn't take much of it to set her off, but it was what happened with Michelle that finally broke her. Mom had, I guess you could say, a very particular image of what she wanted Michelle to be, and he ended up not fitting that image. Now, you're probably thinking, that doesn't seem like such a big deal, but it is. I just can't tell you why. Michelle has to be the one to tell you. Michelle was born a girl. Female body parts. Anyway, some bad stuff went down, and at the end of it all, Mom was constantly hovering over the edge. Dad gave up on her entirely, and I just wasn't sure how to approach her, so I kept my distance. Amy was the only one in the family who would actively engage with Mom. So while he had betrayed me once, I had come to trust Amy again. We had a couple of kids, I turned into a doting father, and life was swell. All my problems swept under the rug. Mom's condition, Michelle. I left it all to Amy and enjoyed a pleasant, carefree life. But then Giselle, or I guess you're just the maid now. Not long after, Michelle died. My oh my. You really aren't Giselle anymore, huh? So, back to my rambling. Michelle died, and I got furious at Dee over it. But I kept coming back to that. Who really deserved the brunt of the blame in that situation? Ah, okay, that time he died. I see. When Dee did the killing blow. I thought it was the facade that Michelle had died. It's nice and comfy to sit back and do nothing. You can throw blame all around all you want. It wasn't your fault after all. You're not the one who killed him, you know. It wasn't long afterwards that Dee died too. Killed on the battlefield. I was told he died a very noble death, but I couldn't help but think he was in a hurry to escape. Listening to the news, I kept telling myself I shouldn't have snapped at him like that. I shouldn't have blamed him. Dee had to choose between protecting Mom or protecting her brother, and he settled on Mom. He was too hard-headed to come up with a way to protect them both. Though even if he had, it was too risky. He served the church directly, and we were all under its thumb. If word spread that one of our own had supposedly sold his soul to the devil, that would be the end of the Bollinger family. I wouldn't have escaped unscathed either. Losing both of my brothers in quick succession crushed me. And as I started breaking down, it was, you guessed it, Amy who comforted me. It's terrible what happened, but it's not your fault. I was around when I began sensing something was off. I mean, she'd had a thing with Dee. You'd expect she would have been bawling her eyes out right alongside me. Nope, because she was just using you guys to get some power herself. So why on earth was she so calm? But I didn't impress her on it. I knew I wouldn't get an answer even if I did. And I also didn't have much of a right to question Amy when I was pushing all my problems onto her. Doubly so knowing that the opening in my dumb mouth was what had done this to Dee in the first place. And before long, we went back to our normal routine. About 8 years after Michelle's death, Mom was gone too, and the Bollinger family was down to me, Amy, and our 2 sons. I had started teaching the boys how to paint, and I loved every minute of it. And then one day, I started feeling unwell. Amy is poisoning him. My finger wouldn't get kind of tingly, such that holding a brush for long periods of time would hurt. So gradually, my time spent both teaching and painting dwindled, and even leaving the manor became difficult. Okay, not poison, just getting old, I guess. At first, I just thought it was a little strange, nothing to be worried about. But then it started getting real bad, and I'd be stuck in bed for days at a time. We called the doctor to look at me, but he couldn't find anything wrong. Amy said I must be overworking myself, and she made me these nice hearty meals hoping to bring back my energy. But my condition only got worse. Poison. Eventually, I started losing my appetite. But Amy, she insisted I eat anyway, or I would never get better. So you know what I did? I tossed out the meals she made when she wasn't looking. I sent my younger boy out to town to buy me food in secret. Oh, he realized it too. And for a while I ate that instead of Amy's meals, making sure it looked like nothing had changed. And after a week or two, the tingling in my fingers started going away. I could only laugh. Laugh and laugh and grit my teeth, and cry my eyes out. I made a life with this woman, trusted her, and she goes and does this. Anger and sorrow were drowned out by a raw heartbreak. My firstborn. It was getting to be about the age he could take over. Which is why I used my younger son to run errands for me. I couldn't be sure that the two weren't working together. Damn. I was at a total loss. What are you supposed to do when your wife's trying to poison you to a slow death? Even now, I'm not sure what the right course of action in that situation would have been. Maybe I could have banished her, had her punished. But remember, I was only a head in name. She handled everything, and there was no way I would have been able to pick up the pieces after throwing her out. And if my suspicions were right and my older boy was in on it too, getting rid of Amy wouldn't have solved anything. What then? Spend the rest of my days living in fear of my own family? I was, by that point, worn pretty thin, both physically and emotionally. Every thought led me to the worst possible outcome. I couldn't, for the life of me, come up with a workable solution. Eventually, I got into my head that it was punishment, that I deserved it. Obviously, what Amy was doing wasn't right, but my hands weren't exactly clean either. Maybe Mom could have recovered if I had looked after her. Maybe Dee would still be alive if I had put myself in his shoes instead of just snapping at him. Maybe, if I had given everyone the care and attention they deserved, Michelle wouldn't have to die. Burying your head in the sand doesn't absolve you of responsibility. And when I finally realized how great that sin in action was, it was far too late. I'm dumb, short-sighted, and I hated myself for not figuring that out sooner. It should have been stupidly obvious what my action and inaction were doing to the people around me. I should have seen all of this coming. Yeah, Amy had betrayed me, but she wasn't the only one guilty of that. When I was going through Michelle's stuff after his death, I came across a painting that had been torn to shreds, that I had made. By refusing to use my head, I had done something that denied his identity. And he left this world still carrying the pain I had caused him. By the time I had come to that conclusion, I wondered why was I even alive at all. I couldn't blame anyone for wanting me dead. So I started eating Amy's meals again, knowing good and well it would likely kill me. Fucking hell. I'm not sure if it translates well when it's just me reading, but I started out happy-go-lucky, stupid fucking idiot Georgius, and at some point it just completely flipped. I changed my tone. I tried at least. We'll see if it works. And he became sullen, sad, but still have a lot of jump in his step, for so to speak. I didn't stop sending my younger boy out though. Yes, not for food. I also strongly encouraged him to move out and become a court artist. Then I started painting again. It was going to be my final piece. Every day the tingling in my hands spread a little farther. My breathing grew a little more labored. I was afraid I might not finish while I was still able to go out of bed, but I somehow managed. It was the most harrowing experience I had painting something in my entire life. True to her facade, Amy stayed at my side until my last breath. She held my hand tight, giving me a strange smile. It didn't occur to me at the time, but Amy always seemed to be smiling, no matter what. In a way, it's kind of impressive how she managed to keep up the loving wife act while simultaneously loading me up with poison. Tell me, Amy, how deep did your poison flow? When you were looking after Mom, did you talk about Michelle? Knowing you probably figured out he was still alive. And I bet you read his final letter to her. It was you who pushed her to set everything in motion, wasn't it? Fuck. There's so many things I wanted to say, but I stayed my tongue and made these my parting words. I loved you so much, Amy. So I ask you this. Keep my last painting in a memory of me. I have no idea if she actually did as I requested, but the last thing I saw before I passed was her nodding, a smile on her lips. The paint I used to make it, I mixed with a special something I had my younger boy go out and buy for me. A substance that, according to what I was told, slowly dissolved into the air, making it toxic. Well... And it has some sort of reaction with the paint as well, turning it almost black. What? So, wait, over time did the entire painting just become a black painting? Is that why we don't actually see anything? We'll see, maybe. I'm quite proud of how it turned out, if I do say so myself. It was a gorgeous landscape painting. Sorry for rambling at you for so long. That's the end of my story. Were you even listening to me? What? You have to go clean the fireplace? Well, alright. Don't let me keep you. Just, please make sure you forget everything by tomorrow, alright? I'm counting on you. I know. Why even say anything, right? I wanted to tell someone. I just don't want anyone to actually know about it. The human heart has a big ball of contradictions like that, you know? You don't? Oh, okay. Well, see ya. It'll be another few decades before you come by again, I imagine. And when you do, will it be our first time meeting again? Will you even be able to hear my voice anymore by then? Maybe it'd be best if I forgot everything too. Who knows? So long, maid. And take care. When an angel comes to judge me, how will his scales tilt? Towards forgiveness? Or towards reckoning? But you know, I don't want it to be an angel who makes that decision. No. You don't have to be an angel. You don't have to be an angel at all. But Michelle is an angel. Yes. A painting's ramblings. So that was the untold story. Okay, so Defective's kind of boring, but I didn't really like the Beast story either. It was too long, and it felt like they were going for shock value there. It all makes sense once you had the entire story of the Fata Morgana, but it was my least favorite ones. And just like here, I liked Slow Killing. It was sort of good. Maybe a 4 or 5. The Painting's Ramblings, fuck, that was good. At least a 7. A 7, I think. And Defectives, 3 out of 10, that is. I just don't like the Beast, but Happily Ever After. How does that go? A Requiem. Hi there. As you may know, I am pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, and once again, I'm going to ask you that if you haven't pressed subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it, because YouTube has recently come out with news that they are going to change the monetization levels. So I still only need 1,000 subscribers, but instead of 4,000 watch hours a year, I now instead need 8,000. So it's going to be more difficult for people to get monetized simply because they can't get enough hours. They have doubled the amount of hours you need. I am above 8,000 hours, fortunately, so that's easy. But in case something were to happen and I fall below that, I would still like to have that shit taken care of. So if you enjoy my videos, I would really appreciate it if you press subscribe so that I can reach 1,000 subscribers and enter the partner program before February 1st. I really don't know how to say that month. February 1st, 2027, when the 8,000 hours is being implemented. That is all I wanted to say. Now, back to the video for Innocence. A tale beyond their happy end. Modern clocks. Ah! No going back to sleep today, Michelle. Time. What's the time? What? 9? We're meeting at 10? That was my second alarm, wasn't it? Out of bed now! No time to waste! How big of an offer would I look if I was late because I slept in? It was a long time since I read Michelle. Normally I have no problem waking up, but I had trouble falling asleep last night thanks to my nerves. Nerves? Coming too late? Is he getting married? What am I, a 5-year-old? Breakfast. I can do without. I need to get dressed and cleaned up. Teeth brushed, check. Hair brushed, check. Buttons all lined up properly, check. Tag removed from my new shirt, check. Is he getting married? Room, a disaster. I was planning to clean it when I got up this morning. That's fine though. It's not like I'm inviting her over. Oh. Okay. I shouldn't even be thinking about that on our first time out. Okay, so this is right after they met again. Holy crap. Okay, all set. Here goes. Happily ever after. And it's fucking music. There are... oh, fuck me. There are memories. Memories ingrained in my soul. Where I do... Fucking hell, man. This fucking music. I was just thinking that I don't recognize music. I'm so bad at hearing the soundtracks of music in games and movies. It's always been a pain for me, but now that I'm hearing it, oh fuck, it broke me right away. Ah. Were I to tell anyone, they might think I was mad. Or maybe that I have been reading too many new age self-help books. Or possibly even that I was a member of a shady cult. But in any event, it likely wouldn't give many people a good impression of me. In my memory of my past life, the soul was held in a great regard and the church wielded nearly absolute power. But neither of those things were true of the present day. While people had more freedom, more choices, and more opportunities than ever before, there were things they had lost, no longer accepted. That the soul was real, that miracles actually happened, that there was still so much about the world we didn't know, didn't understand. People these days were simply not inclined to accept such truths. But I wasn't particularly troubled by the fact that a few were likely to believe me. I didn't feel alone in my knowledge, because I wasn't. Because of that fateful day, we found each other again. She turned toward me, the very same Giselle from my memories. And just as I recognized her, she too knew exactly who I was. For the two of us have memories. Memories ingrained in our souls. And no longer did those memories serve as shackles. If I can keep up this pace, I should make it right on time. Thank goodness. Hungry. Please, for the love of all that is holy, don't growl in front of her. I need to check something. Yeah, there's a flower here on the right side. A new emblem. I wonder what that means. Is that Michelle's true form emblem sort of thing? Because that's a new one. In a turn of events that can only be described as miraculous, we were reunited after nearly 1,000 years. It was a sort of dramatic moment when you might see at the end of a movie or a novel, the point at which the story was finished and nothing more needed to be told. But our lives continued on past that moment. An uneventful, hardly noteworthy succession of days. Nothing particularly different from what you might find in any other random person you chose off the street. But it was that little fistful of happiness we had sought for so many years. We were just two ordinary people now. There is no drama or excitement in the tale that follows. Only a small slice of two regular lives. Oh, fuck me! This makes me so happy! Oh, this is... it's not even bound to Fata Morgana, but this is something I wanted to see in so many stories. A lot of novels, a lot of manga, shows, just ends with "and they lived happily ever after." I want to see what that ever after looks like. And now we're going to do that. It had only been about a week since our reunion. And while I would have loved to grab Giselle by the hand and take her home with me right then and there, I couldn't simply uproot her from her own life. Both of us were busier than we had been in the Middle Ages, myself with work and her with university. So after that, we quickly caught each other up on our present life situations, exchanged contact information, and agreed to meet up the following week. I then walked her to the station, and that was the end of that. A rather underwhelmingly mundane conclusion to such a dramatic, tearful reunion. Especially coming right after I had said, "I want to spend my days with you," with that smile that always at my side, and nothing to get in our way. Though I suppose it shouldn't have come as any surprise that reality wasn't as simple as fairy tales. That meant today would be our first chance to spend any real quality time together. Hence the butterflies in my stomach and having not gotten much sleep last night. By all accounts, I had no reason to be nervous. We knew each other better than perhaps two people ever should. But this was different. This was now. We weren't just in a new era, we'd been given entirely new lives. I pressed enter. Not a second late. Am I here first? Thank goodness. I want to start off on the right foot here, and keeping her waiting is not the way to do that. Oh, thankfully, hi. Ah, Michelle. Did not make it here before her. Good morning. Best girl ever. Good morning. Good morning, Giselle. Are you feeling okay? You're red as a beet and you're breathing pretty heavily. Never felt better. Well enough to do a little running, in fact. You ran all the way here? There was no need to rush. I didn't want to... I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Oh, no, not at all. Wink. You lovable goofs. You're here right on time. I suspected you might show up early, so I wanted to be here at least 5 minutes beforehand. I suppose I did show up a bit early. When did you get here exactly? About 5 minutes ago, I think. Now the truth. 9:30. That's way too early! I was just, I was so eager to see you again. I'm sorry, I let myself get a bit too excited, didn't I? No, it's fine. I mean, I hardly slept for the same reason, so... Anyway, I'm sorry for making you wait so long. No worries. I spent extra time in the cafe right there, and I couldn't have been happier. Happier about waiting? Absolutely. You can see the station entrance through the cafe's windows. And as I was sitting there, giddily imagining you out there among the crowds looking for me, that 30 minutes went by before I even knew it. Is that so? Was that creepy? No, not creepy at all. Just, my heart may have skipped a beat. And don't forget, I'm a pro when it comes to waiting. Yeah, she is! Fucking, oh my god. Oh. Half an hour may as well be a half a second. I'll still try and avoid keeping waiting in the future. I'd appreciate that. So, what's the plan? You said you were going to choose where we went. Ah, yeah. Today's schedule was all on me, at my own request. For one, I wanted to show her I could be more proactive than in the past, and for two, I wanted her to just be able to enjoy the day without worrying about anything else. After all, this was our first date. Shall we start with a movie then? Oh, I like that idea. I haven't been to the cinema in a while, but it's just not the same watching on the TV at home. I can't wait. I was afraid it might come off as too safe, but Giselle seems fond of the idea. Thank you, whoever invented movie theaters. Are you referring to Jacopo with that sentence? He didn't invent the movie theaters, but he envisioned them. And thank you, whoever wrote the dating manual. So, what are we going to see? Oh. Oh? What should we see? So you'd only decided on a movie and not a specific one, Michelle. I thought you wanted to go because you had something in mind. Sorry, I was so focused on figuring out where to take you. Trip 2 steps out of the gate. Oh, don't beat yourself up, it's fine. Finding something to see once you're there is fun too. Let's do that then. We'll go to one of the bigger theaters. Something with a large selection. Perfect. Wait, I mean, I knew this was just photographs that they had put a filter on, but that is fucking Inglourious Bastards. I want to see the other movies. Okay, so we have Inglourious Bastards. I think it is. I totally recognize it, at least. But I can't see from here what the other movies are. Michelle? Very, very silly question for you. Yes? Are you someone who gets popcorn at the theater? Well, she wasn't lying about how silly it was. That said, my empty stomach appreciates her bringing up the subject of food. Michelle? Right, not usually. I prefer to focus on the movie. Oh, really? I like to have a bigger bag to munch on while I'm watching, personally. By all means. It's not going to bother you hearing me crunch in your ear? Not particularly, no. If it were anyone else, then maybe. I'm in a popcorn movement today myself, so I'll get a bag as well. Can't fight this hunger any longer. Oh, alright. Then we'll get one salted and one sweetened. Alright. Other countries have sweetened the popcorn. We don't have that in Sweden. Ooh, the ticket counter is open. Have you decided what we're seeing? Is there anything you'd like to see? I was thinking you could choose. You didn't want to make any choices, damn it! And also, that's part of the dating manual. Have the plan. Choose the movie. At least give her maybe 2 or 3 options if you really want her input. But you said you were going to do the choices here today. I want you to decide, Michelle. I'm curious to see what kind of movie you pick. I see. Well then. Action, romance, horror, animated, naughty. They were making a lot of fun of him for checking out everyone's breasts and stuff. But, oh... No, I don't think that it doesn't matter in that sense. Would Giselle appreciate romance? I'm thinking horror. Horror can be fun. How about this one? Ah, that looks pretty scary. I hope there aren't too many jump scares. Yeah. If you're not a fan of horror, we can see something else. Oh no, I'm fine with the movie. I'm curious how it'll turn out, even if it does look creepy. Look at how much they packed into the poster. It makes you want to know how all the pieces come together. That's precisely why I chose this one, in fact. This part in particular, with a mansion draped in fog. Yeah. Makes us think of... I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Yeah. The similarity is probably coincidental. Oh, and did you read the tagline? Death shall befall all who set foot in this house. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. Like you said, it's probably a coincidence. That said, I'm even more interested in seeing it now, but for other reasons. Indeed. Alright, we'll go get the tickets. It won't be too long. I'm coming with you, and I'd at least like to pay for... No, please allow me, if you would. No, okay. Thank you. I think that is Inglourious Basterds. Oh my god, that scared me silly! The part when the maid's face appeared out of nowhere in the hall about made me jump out of my seat. So there's a maid too, huh? Who made this movie? Is Morgana reincarnated as well and just making a movie about her own life? Same here. And then it turns out she's the real heroine. Holy wow, that was something. Might cry again just thinking about that ending. I have to say, that wasn't scary at all. Honestly, those are the best horror movies in my opinion. Not the jump scares, but the constant lurking in the shadows. That shit is scary. In a sense that you fear for the characters. I don't need to be scared myself. I want to fear for the characters. No, not really. It felt like I knew everything that was going to happen. Surely it's just a coincidence, right? Probably it wasn't exactly the same. And there are hundreds of horror movies set in old mansions. Yeah, that's got to be it. I need to remember to look up the movie staff. It's a long shot, but maybe someone we know was involved. What the fuck is up with Michelle's eye? Though even setting that aside, it wasn't a particularly scary movie. I don't think movies about ghosts will ever be able to scare me. Oh, and why's that? Because I kind of know what it's like, maybe? Good point. I feel like I would be more sad for them than scared, honestly. There's a lot more to this remembering your past life thing than I expected. I'll say. Anyway, what's next on the schedule? I was thinking we could go to a cafe nearby and relax. Or maybe a park. The weather is quite nice. Let's go to the park then. I brought lunch for us. Oh, you did? Does that mess up your plans? Oh, no, not at all. I'm thrilled. I love your cooking. Thank you. This will be the first time you've had it in a millennium, huh? Not something you hear every day. Yeah. But... where are they going? This is the park, huh? Yeah. I want to continue, but I feel like it's going to be at least 20 more minutes of this. So, I will cut this off here. And we are going to see the rest of the date next week. But yeah. Hearing that soundtrack fucking broke me in 3 seconds flat. Damn. And I just love seeing them being happy together, having a life together for once. I love that shit. I want to see more of that. But yeah, we're going to see how it all plays out in the next episode. So, thank you guys for watching, and an extra thank you to all the members of this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.